Welcome to Gail's Garden Herbs and More. Okay, in my basket I have a few herbs here. I'm going to put together some stuff, and then I've also got some dried herbs over here. I've got some that I know are tried and true antibiotic type of herbs, but some have a little bit of other things too that anytime you're going to have an antibiotic might help boost it, work synergistically, and just a lot of things here. Now, I know for a fact, and I picked some fresh. These are some fresh, and these others are dried. I'm going to mix the two because it's going to be a tincture. I have some dried self-heal, too, and I know that self-heal, it works like an antibiotic because I had a place on my gums that was swollen and sore, and I started swishing that in there, and it immediately the pain started subsiding, and it wasn't long, and my gum was nice and taut, and there was no swelling or anything. So this stuff is it's especially good for the gums. But self-heal does a lot of stuff, but self-heal is really good for your gums when you have abscesses or anything like that. I've also got some Echinacea. Of course, your nasturtium leaves that make a great antibiotic. I have some antibiotic that I made of just them. I did a video on that where it was just strictly nasturtium leaves. I've got some hyssop in there too. There's just all of these I want to put together. Of course, the Echinacea and ginger has a little bit of that effect as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put some ginger in this to be setting. And of course, oregano is a great antibiotic. That's just oregano. Oregano and I are real buddies. I really like oregano, especially oregano. Oil is really good, and essential oil. I mean, it has just done amazing things for me over the years. I am so fascinated with how well herbs can work when you really start using them correctly. And yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Now, what I'm going to do is chop up those fresh herbs real fine, and then I'm going to make a mixture of all of them. Okay, now you want to chop these. I may chop it a little bit more fine, but I have been chopping them. This is my Echinacea, and you want to use the whole flower head. Have you ever smelled Echinacea? The flowers have the sweetest, most beautiful smell. Yeah, nobody ever talks about that. At least I haven't heard anybody. Now, I wiped off my knife before I started to make sure there was no moisture in my board. This is just stained from cutting up turmeric. But anyway, yeah, you want to chop everything up real fine. And I just wanted to mention this about the Echinacea flower heads, and then that they smell so good too. I've got another one here I need to do. So back to work. Same thing with your self-heal. The flower has a lot of the medicinal qualities in it. So you want to make sure that you chop those up real good. Sorry, I had people come over right in the middle of making this. So anyway, okay, so I got all of that in there, and this is what I put in there. I'm going to fix this up and make a label with it. But yeah, right there you go. You can stop the computer and take a screenshot of it if you want for the kind of a basic recipe. And that's vodka in the jar. And let me show you something else I did. Let me take that. Can you see that? What's that funny little metal thing in there? Let me show you. Okay, now I broke the stuff up so tiny that a lot of it escapes it. But if you had whole leaves, it would hold it down. Oof, I can't pull it all the way up. It's got a, let's see if I can get that where you can see it. I think I have another one. Hold on. Must be in a jar somewhere. Anyway, the bottom of this looks like an old potato masher. Let me show you what that looks like. It looks just like that. A little bit smaller, but not much smaller. I mean, it looks just like that on the bottom. And what it's supposed to do when you put the lid on, it's like a spring on top. It forces it down and holds it so it doesn't come up above the liquid. Now, it's not working real well on this. I may just keep it in there for a day or two to get a lot of it kind of wet so much material doesn't come up to the top. But material is still coming to the top because I cut it so small. But you want it small so you have a lot of edges exposed to your medium, which is my vodka, so it can pull out more beneficial stuff. Now, this recipe doesn't have to be exact. You can change it. If you don't have any hyssop, then leave it out. If you only have a 1/4 cup of oregano, then use what you have. I didn't have a whole half cup, but I went ahead and put half a cup because that's what I would like to have. My nasturtium just did not do well this year. I don't have very many. It's just been too hot. So I didn't get a lot of nasturtium in it like I would like. But yeah, I'm going to let that set for several weeks. And then sometimes what I do is called a double tincture. I will strain all the material out and put a whole new batch of my material and pour this same liquid into that new bunch of material, a new bunch of material. And that makes it a little bit more potent, a little bit stronger, which I really like to do. I think the tinctures work much better when I've done a double tincture on them. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to trim up this, put it on my jar, and set it on the counter with my others. I've got some I think I can put up in the cabinet now, the stuff. Let me show you something. I don't know if you can see, this is my rose tincture, and most of it is sitting down at the bottom. There's a lot of roses in it, and I keep adding, but sorry, I hit the off instead of the pause. Okay, can you see the top? See, there's nothing sticking out the top because after several days to a couple weeks, depending on the material, the material gets so saturated it sinks to the bottom, then you don't have to worry about it sticking out the top. So what I can do with this one, I will probably add some more roses. I may add a little more vodka to it and put some more in it until I get, this is a double one too. But I want it nice, my rose tincture nice and strong as well. And I'm just kind of adding more roses as I go along. I may stop here instead of just using, I don't know how much rose tincture I would actually use. I'm more likely to use my rose water or a rose oil mixed with my other oils than I am a rose tincture. But I wanted a little bit just because I wanted to try it. So, but anyway, yeah, after a while your material will sink down, then you can put it in the cabinet. But until then, I leave it out on the counter so I can check it every day and push the material back under so mold doesn't grow. But anyway, that's pretty much it on your antibiotic tincture. This is another type of an antibiotic for you for when you, and I'm going to need this. I wished I'd had it made earlier. I'm almost out of my other antibiotics and I've got to get work done on my teeth, and I do not want to take regular antibiotics from the dentist or a doctor. So, I wish this was done sooner. But I'm going to have it now if anything else comes up. At least when it gets done, I'll have it anyway. So, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and we will catch you all next time. Bye now.